Okay, so is my 48 volt battery and my inverter going to fit in the van? It is, because guess what? I measured. Haha. This is the combiner box for the solar panels. I was trying to think of mounting this somewhere in the van, but while we're mobile, all I got is 48 volts worth of solar panels, but I got 4 panels, and the 4 panels have to be strung in series. So do I think this is overkill, the battery, for going with me on this little trip? Yes, this is overkill, but it's my overkill. Now, do I think the solar panels going with me on this little trip are going to be overkill? Yes, I think the solar panels will be overkill for me, and let me tell you why. Because I'm not going completely off grid. We might spend a night or two off grid, but this battery right here is a 48 volt battery, and this battery will keep us off grid. Did I need the whole Growatt inverter? Probably not. There's a 48 volt battery right there with a battery management system. Has 14 cells in series. And why I got this instead of just an inverter, I probably could have got away with just the inverter, because I could plug this in right here. I could plug that in if I'm at any RV sites. Guess what? This is a 30 amp to 15 amp where I could just run an extension cord and plug this in right here, and this will convert everything for my power and charge my battery. Key thing, charge a 48 volt battery. You cannot charge that with any standard chargers, and this can charge a 48 volt battery. The one thing, the difference between this and a 48 volt inverter, 48 volt to 12 volt, 48 volt to 120 volt, is this does use a little bit more power than that, but this gives me the capability to plug into any grid. I got a 100-foot extension cord, and guess what? If I got a hotel room on the main floor, I can run it out to this and charge the battery. If I'm at RV camp, I can run it out to charge the battery. In the same, if I'm completely off grid, I can turn this on and I have a 48 volt inverter, which this battery can run a 220 volt oven if I had the 220 line ran, if I had an inverter for the 220. This battery can run a stove, this battery can run a jacuzzi. This battery has a lot of power. And here's one thing with me though, as I'm frugal with money, as I'm frugal with spending, I'm frugal with the energy in the lithium ion battery, because you have no idea when you're going to need it most. So that's why we only got a 10-inch tablet screen DVD player, and I could put the 65-inch in here and I'd have a 65-inch, but the 65-inch uses a lot more power. And as I'm frugal with money, I'm frugal with lithium ion battery power. My wife says, you got so much lithium ion lights, you don't need any more lights, you don't need any more batteries. But it's not only for the van and the van life, it's for the house also. So I'm going to put this in right now. This is actually pretty heavy. That battery is about maybe 60 pounds. This Growatt inverter was $850 for this Growatt inverter, but it's a 3-in-1. It could charge from solar, it could charge from the grid, and it's an inverter to put whatever power you're getting into the battery. If you're powering stuff from your home, you could power it off of this, or you can power it from the battery, or you could power it from the battery in the grid or the solar in the grid. So that's why I got that one. That battery management system was $120. and those batteries shipped were $350. So this is quite an expensive setup. Was garbage picked. Okay, so this is quite a bit of an expensive setup, but if I just had this with an extension cord, I can only work off of if the van is plugged in somewhere. I can only work off of that. With this right here, after that's charged, I could go the whole day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days, with just that not being plugged in anywhere. And if I have the solar panels in series, I can go. That's why they tell me also don't get any more 12, since I got a 48 volt systems. I'm in a bunch of battery and solar groups. That's a beagle in the background. I'm in so much. They said stop buying 12 volt solar panels. They said get you some good 350 watt 24 volt solar panels. This way you just need 2 of them to carry with you, which is a good idea, but you know, the 300 watt ones, 24 volts, are pretty expensive still. So I'm gonna put this in there right now. But like I said, you could buy these, and they're just adapters where you could plug an extension cord in with a 6-strip, and you could plug it anywhere and run it to your van if you're on a campground, and run it to your van, and you got 120 volt through everything you want to power. But this right here is if I don't want to be in a campground and have power. But I have the little portable packs too, so my wife says it's overkill. So let me get this in here. Let's It's on the dolly, but I'm gonna have to bring it up, get it over that, lean in, and the battery itself is about 60 pounds. I might need help getting this in there. Try to figure it out. Maybe if I lift it from the bottom. This is just, I was gonna ratchet strap down there. I should ratchet strap it. I just gorilla taped it just because I didn't know if I was gonna keep it like this. And I guess if I take the gorilla tape off, I could do it individually. I could do it individually and then ratchet strap it on. Now I can't do it individually. I already did that, but I can't really do it individually. I could do it as long as my ropes are, because I don't want to unplug the battery from this, because then I got to start all over again. Of putting the restarting this, because there's going to be zero power hooked up to it. So what I can do is, this ain't going to stand up straight. Oh, it unplugged anyways. It's on. I got my ratchet straps in the bag. I thought if this unplugged, that this was going to shut completely off. Now I got 55 volts in this battery right here that's running this inverter, so I can literally plug this in and plug this 65-inch screen TV, plug a regular refrigerator in this and everything, and this battery will keep it the whole day even longer. Like I said, if I get any hotels or hotel rooms or whatever, believe it or not, I can roll this in to recharge it because it's on the dolly. But I got to get my ratchet straps out now and strap this in. Here we go. We're on. If you want to ask why this isn't on yet, because these right here are the photovoltaic. These right here are for the solar panels, and this combiner box right here can do 6 strings of solar panels, and there's a breaker in this. So with the breaker, that's why I want this, for the breaker. Now I got to find out where I'm going to mount it at. I was going to mount, like actually glue it to the back of it or put it on the back of it. Oh, I forgot to cut. I brought my angle grinder out. I don't know if you remember me putting this 48-volt battery together, but I got 2 screws sticking out the back, and when I grabbed it, they scratched the crap out of me. Okay, so this is, I had to use my big straps to get this on right here. So I'm going to roll this back. And the bad thing about the passenger van is there's not a lot of tie downs. I wish there were more tie downs. Let's see if this fits now. Maybe my wife is right. Maybe that is overkill. Oh, I thought that was water leaking. I said, how is the water leaking from the cooler? That's the ratchet strap. I had to use my big one. But okay, so that basically, other than my luggage, that's all I need. Got my fishing pole. That's really all I need. But that's a 48-volt Growatt inverter, and like I said, with that one right there, if you really want to be off grid, you could have your solar panels. And wherever you sit at, you could just put your solar panels out. And with that PV combiner box I got a big heavy-duty extension cord that I'm cutting to run 50 feet to the solar panel, so you can have the solar panels 50 feet out. The combiner box right here that just plugs into the combiner box, and the combiner box plugs into that. Now you don't need the combiner box. I bought the combiner, I think it was like 85 bucks or 100 bucks, but I bought it for the breakers that are in there, because I like everything with breakers. You see I got breakers on that, breakers all over the place, battery management system, I have all that. But this is, I mean, I could lay out the beds right here. The jack's the one, realistically, out of all this, the jack is the one thing in the way. Out of all this, the jack is the one thing in the way. But I prefer to have my big heavy duty jack no matter where I'm at. You know how much times I got other people out of trouble because I have my big heavy duty jack, but man, it's a nightmare in this. But look at this compared to everybody living in their car, living in their Bronco. Buy yourself a passenger van. And like I says, with that right there, I could have a 65-inch screen and have a refrigerator and have everything hooked up. And with the extension cord, the 100-foot extension cord comes out right here, and then I could plug it in to any RV hookup right here. If you just have one of these right here, you can really plug it in anyways and just run the extension cord to your van. But you have to be plugged in somewhere to have power. Now with that right there, I don't have to be plugged in to have power. I can have power. We'll probably find out how long I can have power for with that. The only one thing, like I said, I don't like about that is that whole inverter system does use some of your battery just for that. So if you have the solar panels, it'll be awesome. This right here, I would love to put this monocrystalline solar panels up there. I gotta look, stay tuned for that because I just might do it this way. I just got solar everywhere I go. I got the stiff solar panels, and I'm being on expressway 70 miles an hour. I'm always afraid of something blowing off. All right, either way, that's this Growatt inverter with the 48-volt battery that I'm taking boondocking with me. And you see, it fits perfect. As these right here are 8 feet, about 8 feet, use 8 feet of space right here. Those 4 feet by 8 feet with the mattresses, I would venture to say 4 feet by 8 feet. And then behind those, I have another 4 feet. So I don't know if we're sleeping closer up there or closer back here. For right now, in the beginning I was thinking about sleeping closer up there, but for now I'm thinking about sleeping closer back here, so this way I can have a path to get in and out, the storage stuff on the side, and I don't have to keep moving that. But if I have to move that, you know, that's going to be a little bit more of a problem. I don't want to have to jockey a lot of stuff into position. So sleeping, I'd have to roll the jack that way and 2 people could fit. But let me tell you this is why I may jockey stuff into position and us just use the side door, because you see in the van where the wheel wells aren't, you can fit 2 full mattresses right there all the way to the front, 2 full mattresses. And back here the wheel wells are right here, so me and my honey would have to sleep a little bit snugged up more, and I don't think she'll want to sleep that much snugged up. So this right here might be sideways right here, and then we'll line up the stuff along the back and close the back doors and just use the front door and the side door. The one thing that I did wrong with that side door is, I didn't do it wrong, but it was so much easier to do this panel, this curtain panel, all the way across. This curtain panel all the way across, so there's no break in the middle. So if we open the door, it's all stuck to the door. So technically we got to use the front or the back to get in and out. But if that's to this side and the jack is to this side, or there's a path in the middle, we can just walk in and out the back door. All right, just stay tuned. I'm keep going on this. All right, bye. Okay, here's my thumbnail for my on-grid, off-grid power source.